Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Vivid Collectibles. Today I'm really excited to bring you my review of the Batman premium format figure by Sideshow Collectibles. This statue was designed and sculpted by Martin Canali, painted by Derek Rosengrant and Chiyazuma, and of course the rest of the Sideshow design and development team. Now Martin's known for making usually bulky characters, and this is no exception. He's got a small waist, but this guy's jacked and he is pretty bulky as well. When this was announced, it was a little bit divisive. Actually, I would say a lot divisive. A lot of people did not like it. The ears were too long. They didn't like the cape. A lot of things, too many bats, whatever. There was a lot of reasons why people didn't like it. Not me. I like this from day one. I think you're getting an amazing piece, and especially for the price point. I think it's really inexpensive for what it is that you're going to be getting here. Now, this is a huge statue. It's 28 inches tall, 21 inches wide, and 20 inches deep. So it's going to be a challenge to display this thing. I have no idea where I'm going to put this. And it's also pretty tough to move because of the way it's put together. But I figured it out, and there's a way to do it. Still, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to move this thing around if you have to. Edition size on this was 300 for the blue and gray, and later on they announced a black variant that they made 100 of. Now, it sucks that they announced the black variant a little bit after this one, because it would have been nice if they just let you know right off the bat, hey, you're going to have two options, and then collectors can make up their mind that way. But either way, so with the blue and gray one, what you're getting is two portraits, the long-eared portrait, and then they later announced a short-eared portrait. With the black version, you're getting the short-eared portrait, and that's it. So, you know, at least you have some choices. Right now, they're waitlisted, both of them. And I'm shocked it took this long for this statue to get waitlisted, because as of last week, if you wanted one, it was in stock, and then it sold out pretty quickly. So let me tell you what I like about this, what I don't like about this during my review. Alright, so we're going to talk about the concept art and design. So what we have here is the Batman playing detective on top of a church steeple, and he's grappled to this very, very tall spire right here. You see the grapple hook there, and he's surrounded by a colony of bats throughout that are basically wrapped around the base and also blend into that humongous cape. So he looks really badass, and he's massive. See, the bats are everywhere. That intricate church steeple, right, with these amazing dragons on it and great paint and weathering. So he's doing some detective work from atop the city of Gotham, where nobody really can escape him. And I like that they gave us this amazing blue and gray. I don't have any blue and gray Batman, so for me, I'm very happy. So basically what you have here is just Batman on top of a church steeple, grappled to the spire overlooking Gotham City, ready to strike on his foes. I like the pose. You know, he's compromised because he's holding on, but he's very confidently looking over the city. So I really like the concept and design on this piece quite a bit. Now we're going to move on to paint and sculpt. Okay, so for paint and sculpt, you get a lot. There's a lot of different colors in here. Oh, they're all a little bit gritty, but they look good. The sculpt on this church steeple is absolutely amazing. Look at all these like rooftop scales that painted this really nice weathered copper, and they look amazing. The weathering looks absolutely real, and the texture absolutely beautiful. So I love that about it. That's the sub base, right? And then just above that, you have these four dragons. They highly detailed dragons. You can see the sharp nails on them, the great sculpt on them, that beautiful weathering with the paint. You have some of those green patinas. They look like weathered moss on it. And then even the wings are highly detailed on these dragons. So these are very highly detailed and really nicely sculpted and painted dragons. Like I said, you have four of them. They each look absolutely amazing. And then you have these little spires right here, and you can see the green weathering moss effect on top of them from years of rain. They look amazing. Again, more of that green weathering. They did such a great job on this base. It's really just pops when you have it in person and you can look at it. Again, the dragons in the front, highly detailed. I mean, you could even see teeth, wings, great textures, great paintwork throughout. So that's your, well, the bottom part of the base, because the base goes all the way up. So let's continue with the base. And here's that spire that he's holding on to. He keys in right here with this very, very, very thick metal key. And then he'll key in here as well with a smaller key. It's a little tricky to get him in there, but once you get him in there, he's secure. But I love the paintwork on this and the design. The fact that it's a crooked spire, that's by design, because otherwise how do you balance him in there? But at the very middle of it, you have 4 little dragon heads, right? And they're each just as detailed as the bigger ones. They look great together. Again, paint and sculpt on this is amazing. So just like a copper, a weathered copper, and they did a great job of showing you that weathering on it. All right, at the very top is a smooth, shiny copper. That looks really good. And that's where his grapple will wrap around, and then it will key in here to add a little level of security, and that goes on his left arm. That looks great. So we get a lot of bats. I didn't count them, but they're over 30, maybe close to 40, and they're highly detailed. They didn't give you a cheap looking, plastic looking bat. They gave you highly detailed PVC bats, and they have magnetic keys, so they key in different slots, and they're not going anywhere. They're mostly very secure. Now, it was a lot of work to get these keyed in because there's a lot of them, and you got to do them in a certain order. So I encourage you to watch Sideshow's unboxing because it's going to save you time, even though it's tedious and it still takes time. And there are a lot of bats that surround this statue. But in my opinion, they add a lot to the aesthetics of the statue and the overall look and feel of it. It looks great. Very little to complain about, especially when they give you something that's highly detailed and they could have just cheaped out. They didn't. It looks absolutely great. There we go. So that's all part of the base, the bats, right? You have this, like, I guess it's a billowing cloud, it looks like, but it's just more for effect. It's still his cape, but it looks like a cloud of bats. It looks really good. It's more for artistic purposes, but it looks amazing. Same thing here, right? So that billow cloud of bats looks amazing. You got a couple different shades of grays in there, right? Light and dark for definition, and it looks really good. It's painted very well. Sculpted very nicely too, even though it's kind of all over the place, right? All right, so we're going to move up to Mr. Batman himself. And he's got a smooth paint job on him. But it's done very, very well, right? You see all the folds on the boots, the treads on the boot. Looks very, very good. The boots are very nicely done. Different shades of blue, right? I'll show you the left boot right here. You can see where the pressure is on that boot, all the folds. Same thing, great paint and sculpt definition. We'll go behind here, take a look at the treads. That looks very good. All right, as for Batman himself, he's jacked. This is a very muscular Dark Knight. Great muscle definition and great shading to really accentuate the muscle definition on this guy. I think it looks absolutely great. The gray is a nice, like lighter gray, but it's not overly done so. It's just right in my opinion. Again, look at where the costume pulls, right? All the folds and wrinkles are exactly where you would expect them to be. Very nicely done. I love the bright yellow utility belt. That looks good. It's got some slight weathering where the buckle is. Not a lot. It's pretty clean overall. And what's great about this statue is even though it's got this humongous cape, you can get a really good look at Batman's sculpt from the front and the back. So look at the back and all the different muscles this guy's got. You can see the spine, all the different folds that are pulling from the fabric on his outfit, and all the great muscle definition that Martin is so good at. All right. The bat symbol looks awesome. It's not huge. It fits just right. This guy's got like a huge 8-pack. A lot of muscles. You can see all the obliques, rib cage. I mean, this thing he's jacked, like I said. Small waist, so he looks maybe slimmer than he is, but he's just jacked. Big arms on this guy, and you can see the vein definition coming through the outfit. That looks great. And then his gauntlets are amazing with these blades sticking out. The blades are long and very sharp. But again, look at the work on his outfit. The fabric pulls because he's doing this. It's amazing. They did a great job. Paintwork on it just makes it come alive. Great knuckle definition. Good separation on the fingers. And here's the blades coming out of the gauntlet. I think they look absolutely outstanding. Sorry for the janky camera work, guys. Alright, we're going to go to his right arm, which is holding on to the cape. And again, same great blades sticking out of that gauntlet. They look amazing. Really nice paintwork and fabric pull. It looks great. Again, not a lot of textures on it, if any, but it's done very well. All right, we're going to move up to his portrait. This is the long-eared portrait, as you can see, and you can see the expression. He's very focused. That looks great, showing through his cowl. The whited out eyes make him look menacing. Nice jawline. Great skin skin tone, and the paintwork looks great. And I really like the long ears. I think it looks amazing. Really good. There's not a lot to complain about. This is the switch out portrait. Shorter ears, right? And he's looking more straight. He's looking down a little more on this one. This will be a little more straight. This has like a bigger jawline to me than the other one. It still looks really good. But look at the light blue highlight right over his brow. That looks awesome. The blue highlights on his cowl are beautiful. I love the way it's painted and shaded. Really not much to complain about. Both portraits are really good. I prefer the long-eared version because I think it flows better with the overall piece. Now, the cape. Holy cow. This cape is absolutely a work of art. Look at the way it's sculpted. It's billowing. The sculpt allows such movement on this cape. It's enormous, but it's kind of narrow. Otherwise, oh my God, I don't know how you would even be able to display this, as it is the challenge. But look at the different shades of blue that just show that movement and allow that separation on the base, of the cape. Looks great. I mean, there's really not much to complain about. When you have a cape this big that has to be fully painted, I mean, you would expect some errors. There's some minor paint blemishes, but then on the bottom here, right, you see these like jagged ends to the cape. They look amazing. And then it blends into a cloud. And I like how they did that. That looks very good. And then it becomes a full colony of bats that are attached to it. And they look, like I said, absolutely amazing. So, I mean, paint and sculpt on this just elevate the piece. The sculpt is done perfectly, in my opinion. And then the paintwork just adds and complements it in such a way where, you know, a bad sculpt can ruin a statue just as much as a bad paint job. I think they nailed both of these. I think it looks absolutely amazing. Like I said, not a whole lot to complain about. I'm going to switch out the portraits just to give you a look at that. Okay, so here we have the short-ear portrait. Like I said, he's looking more straight at you rather than down. So that's a nice little touch. If you want to put him below because you have no room, you can do that and you'll still get a good look at the portrait. Like I said, it looks good. I think the long-eared one matches my taste a little better. But honestly, you really can't go wrong. So now I'll tell you my overall thoughts, what I thought of the build during the my final thoughts part of this video. Alright, so for my final thoughts, this piece, I think it turned out better than I expected it. It was a bit of a challenge to put together because everything's a tight fit, and you have so many moving parts. But I have to give credit to Sideshow. You have like 40 bats and just separate wings that have to get keyed into this whole statue, right? Whether it's the bottom of the cape or the top. Everything fit absolutely perfect. The magnets are strong, and it holds up when you move it. So I like that quite a bit, because they give you a lot of bats. And yes, they are a pain to put together, but they actually fit very, very well. It's just tedious because you have a lot of them. I suggest you definitely watch the video if you want to get that done. As far as the cape and the way the cape gets installed, that's tricky. And you know, in the video they show you two people. I did it by myself, just because when you're putting these together, you know, pressure and balance matters a lot. So I took my time. I was able to do it. You cannot skip the step where this keys into the cape first, this part. Then you put it all together as one, obviously without the bats on it. Because this part, the bottom part of the cape, keys into the bottom of the base. And then the top of the cape goes into his back, and also right here. There's a little key that goes in there. So everything has to be balanced and go in there at once. That was a bit of a challenge, but I was able to do it with no problem. There is a bit of a seam that's right there that you're never going to see. Right underneath there, you can see the key a little bit. I think mine has settled since I put it in overnight, so it's better now. So we'll get better. But once it sits there, it ain't going anywhere. The cape is made of a lightweight PVC material. So I like that. It's not too heavy. You can move it around. The statue itself is about 20 pounds, maybe 23 pounds, so it's movable. But because of the way it's put together, you have bats everywhere. The way that I'm doing it is I'm grabbing the spire right there, and I grab the bottom of the base where I can to sort of balance it and carry it. Displayability is a problem. I don't know where I'm going to put this, and I'm being serious, right? I don't have a place for this. Right now, I'm going to have to move some things around and find a spot that'll fit a 21-inch deep and 20-inch wide piece. The height's not terrible, it's 28, but it's big. So another part of the challenge was getting him onto the spire right here. He keys in here, like I mentioned earlier, and here. That actually was easier than I thought it would be, but you do have to balance it and do it at a certain time. You got to start with this one first, and then work it in a little bit, and then you can start putting this one in, because it has to go down a little bit before it fits into that key. Once it went in, no problem. These four little dragon heads get put in individually. Tedious, but no issue. They fit perfectly. And then his left arm, where he's holding onto the spire, has this grapple, and this grapple has to wrap around this 3 times. It's a tight fit, and then he keys in here to hold it, just to add an extra level of security to Batman. But honestly, I don't think you need it. This thing's not going anywhere, but obviously the more the better. He's right side heavy from when you look at him, meaning his left arm. So if he was going to go anywhere, he's going this way. But you got to push it. Otherwise, it's very stable. It ain't going anywhere. But if you do apply some pressure, it will want to tilt to the right. My right, his left. That's a bit of an issue, but honestly, for what you're getting, this piece retails for $6.90. Now, I bought mine from collectorzone.com. Marco gave me this amazing discount code, and it includes shipping and everything. I'm into this thing for less than retail, shipped to my door because of Collector Zone Cantina. I can't stress it enough. Become a member. Marco answers all your questions. They ship them as soon as they get them. In fact, this was shipped directly from Sideshow. They're not all like that, but this one was. Like I said before, it's a great place to buy from, and Marco's a really, really good guy, so I can't stress enough. Get it at Collector Zone. Go in the Facebook group, become a member of the Cantina. You won't regret it. So for my final thoughts, again, statues right now are selling for crazy money. I don't know how Sideshow was able to do this piece at that price point when you're getting something that's this substantial. An amazing base that's painted to perfection. The weathering is great. It doesn't miss at all. A humongous, fully sculpted cape that we've all been clamoring for as collectors. Everybody wants the fully sculpted cape, but not necessarily the price tag that goes along with it. So they gave you this amazing Batman sculpt, sculpted by Martin Canale, right, and designed by him, with 2 amazing portraits a great, very well engineered statue that's balanced and everything fit right for under $700. Those days are over. You're not gonna find that anymore. So if you were on the fence about this and you can get it, trust me, get it. It's right now, it's my favorite Batman statue overall. When it comes to the base, the cape, the way he looks, everything is top notch. That doesn't mean it's the best Batman statue. That means it's my favorite Batman statue in my collection right now. There's a million Batmans you can buy, right? And they all can't look the same. So they tasked Martin to come up with a unique Batman, and this is what he came up with. Boy, am I glad that they stuck with their guns. I'm surprised it was only a decent size 300 for this and 100 for the black one. In my opinion, this will be sought after, just like the Gotham by Gaslight piece was, where it was sort of underappreciated initially, and then people got it in hand. They were like, wow. That's how I feel about this statue. But I like this all along. For me, this is a wow factor statue. If you have the room to display it, I think it'll command a lot more money in the aftermarket. I don't plan on getting rid of this thing. I think it's amazing. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a keeper and one I'm glad I have in my collection. Thank you for watching this long video. I appreciate you guys. Give me your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you next time.